Hey guys, what's going on? It's Karl here back with another episode, and I've kind of just come back from San Fran. If you follow me over on social, you'll know that I just mucked a half marathon using this guy, the Huawei Watch 2. I'm trying to compile all that footage, but it's also been my full 1 week with the iPhone XS. Here's my review and thoughts on Apple's latest and expensive flagship. So if you've managed to track one down, I know they're extremely hard to get. You'll know that they do cost an arm and a leg, around $1,100, and I think up here in Canada, I spent close to $1,500 for a fully unlocked phone, which kind of proves Apple can charge ridiculous amounts of money for a phone and people will still buy them. Is it worth it? That really depends. If you're a person that usually buys iPhones every year, then this won't really make a dent in your bank account as you're used to those exorbitant prices. Is it the best iPhone currently on the market? Absolutely. If you're considering this or the iPhone 8, this is only around $100 more. To me, it's a no-brainer. You might as well get the latest and greatest. And to me, it's great. It's been awesome so far. The first thing that I've really noticed coming from, say, my 7 Plus is how vibrant this screen is. And it's not only just a full edge-to-edge display, it's the first time we've seen a change in the iPhone since the iPhone 5? 6? It's been a long time and it's something that a lot of iPhone people have been waiting for, and it is finally here. It's a 5.8-inch OLED display, Super Retina. It's essentially the clearest and crispiest screen we've seen on an iPhone. And as I said, once you've compared that to an older model, you put them side by side, you definitely notice the difference, and it's the first thing that comes to mind when you stare at this thing. It's beautiful to look at, even minus the fat chin that it's got up top. You kind of get used to it. So in that chin, it actually hides a few sensors as well as the front-facing camera, and every single time that I've now used the new Face ID, and that of course replaces the little home button at the bottom, it has worked perfectly. It is super seamless, and I thought it would screw up a couple times, even when I've got shades on, even in the dark. It seems to work. I think it's been more reliable than Touch ID, and I think Apple here is setting a precedent or benchmark how good facial recognition should be. It's good. Awesome. Once again, no complaints over here. I think that's a perfect little transition into the cameras. On the back, we have a dual lens setup. It's now vertical, which to me still looks a bit strange, but it is of course different. It has taken awesome photos so far. Dynamic range, saturation, color reproduction. It's one of the best rear-facing cameras that I've used, and I actually have this sweet little accessory that I've been using with it. It's actually called the Shutter Grip, and this one's from Just Mobile. You can connect via Bluetooth, and essentially you can snap photos with it just like a normal shutter release on a camera. And the cool thing is you can actually slip this little shutter release off. Definitely cool to use when your iPhone is kind of set up in interesting and different angles. They've got a Kickstarter campaign. I will leave that, of course, linked down below. One of my favorite accessories so far for the new iPhone. The front-facing camera, although it is improved, this is where I think the Pixel 2, the XL in my case, has been better. Don't get me wrong, it's still super sharp. Once you switch to portrait mode, it really has a tough time deciding where edges are around my face. I know I've got some pretty interesting hair, but no matter what, it can never seem to keep that all in focus. I think that's something that can be improved, of course, in a software update, but right now I'd still give the king of cameras to the Pixel 2. And of course the back is now made of glass, which means you can wirelessly charge it, but also means it will be very prone to fingerprints, light scratches, as you can kind of see in my model here. I definitely grab a skin for it, as you want to make sure your $1,000 plus iPhone stays nice and protected. These ones, of course, from dbrand, linked down below. Talking about the non-touch ID and the non-home button, I thought it would be a bit weird getting used to the new gesture control. Swiping up essentially is the new function to close your app or to go back to the main screen. It is super intuitive, it is so simple to use, and it's almost second nature now 1 week in. When I go back over to my iPhone 7 or even 8, it seems a bit archaic, and this is just the natural progression. I think it's awesome, and of course, multitasking, switching between apps, you take maybe a day or two tops to get used to it, so you shouldn't be too worried if you're concerned about that. The software experience isn't perfect either. We've got iOS 11.1, we've got a ton new emojis. You of course have the new Animojis, which I think I've only sent once, which has been, of course, the poop emoji. I find that most apps haven't really taken advantage of the full iPhone 10 display, and even apps like Instagram, which I'm on all the time, seem to be a tad bit buggy. It tends to freeze or crash, and I'm sure they're working hard to fix that, but it's just something super annoying if you've just got a brand new phone and you've dropped $1,300 for, and it just doesn't work perfectly. It should, in my opinion. Is it justified to pay this kind of money for a smartphone? I think for Apple, yeah, they can get away with charging absurd amounts of money and people will still buy it. Probably wait a month or two when they're of course available, and once they've figured out all the bugs and software issues to make this thing better than it is right now. I hope you guys found this review useful though, and make sure you stay posted to the channel for my full 2 to 3 month revisited review once I've really put this guy through its paces. And of course, if you maybe want to see this as a holiday giveaway item, let me know down below in the comments, and I will catch the rest of you in one of my next episodes or vlogs. Peace!